All right, you looking to get into player development? Here's where you need to start. If you're looking to get in player development, here's where you need to start. Let me define what player development is. Player development is the enhancement of the athlete experience through holistic and intentional programming and initiatives. So I'm gonna tell you the questions or where you need to start, and then we're gonna go. Number one, you need to understand what player development is. Number two, you need to understand how the role is defined. Number three, what does the role actually do? Number four, what are the challenges in the role? Number five, what are the current paths to those who are in the role? And then number six, how can I begin creating impact where I am now? All right, so let's talk about it. All right, understand what player development is. That's the overall deal. Number one, how's a role defined? All right, so how's a role defined? You need to start looking at when they post player development positions, player engagement positions, print it out. Look at the role. See how it's defined, right? A lot of people want to talk to people and spend time with people. Hey, can I get 15 minutes, 30 minutes? I will always say, don't ever ask for 30 minutes. Don't ask for an hour or 30 minutes. Start with 15. Start with 15, okay? Start with 15. But these people are busy. They got a lot of stuff to do, right? And they have their own personal lives. So when you're looking to see how the role is defined, I would look at how people define it through job descriptions, right? How is the role defined through job descriptions? Then after I look at job descriptions, those people I want to connect with, I will go to YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcasts, type in their name. Maybe they are already communicating, which happens a lot. A lot of them have been on this podcast. They're communicating how their role is defined. So you need to understand what player development is. You want to get into it, you better make sure you understand how the role is, because it's not all the pictures you see online. It's not all what they call it, rainbows and butterflies. It has its days. Trust me. I did it at the University of Houston, University of Kansas, and Baylor University for the football team, and it has its days, y'all. It has its days. So you want to make sure you understand how the role is defined. Now, after that, you can keep that same job description and then read what the role actually does. I can literally look at that job description and it'll tell me what the role does. This is what the role does here. This is what you're going to do in the role. Here's the task, here's the responsibilities, all of that. So not only have they defined what the role is, they're actually telling me what I would do in the role, right? Boom. Same sheet. You can knock out two things. They've defined a role, and then what does the role actually do? Once again, that podcast, the one question I always ask, hey, tell me some of the tasks and responsibilities you have in your role. Boom, there it is. It's probably about 20 different podcast episodes on here, interviewing people in player development, player engagement all around the world. So you can find that, all right? You want to see what they actually do. Some of this stuff you might not want to do. You might not like it. And if you don't like it, trust me, do not take a position if you don't like what they're doing in there, right? So what does the role actually do? You need to know that. The third thing, right, is what are the challenges in the role? What are the challenges in the role? What are these challenges that happen in the role? When this person talks about this or that, or they're saying, hey, you know, all these great things, I always want people to know the challenges. If you ask me what were the challenges in player development when I was in the role, the schedule, adults, coaches who don't fully understand player development, and sometimes it can be parents. It was players not showing up, right, to programming, things not being mandatory. You can't do mandatory at the college level, so that was tough, right? Not getting resources, right? Those are some of the challenges, right? And just like nobody knowing, not necessarily we don't do the work just to do the work, but like you're like, man, come on, like somebody can recognize what we're doing out here for these players, right? Other people taking the credit, which is fine, right? It happens, but there are some challenges. What are different challenges people have? As I got kids, it was challenging to come home and spend time with my kids and work and be there 14 hours a day. It can be challenging if you don't like traveling that much. You're going to travel with the team, right? There are different challenges. You need to understand what the challenges are in the role are. All right, what are the career paths of those who are in the role? Player development is not linear yet. So you can't go GA, associate, manager, director, all that, right? A lot of people in these roles have different career paths. So you need to research these roles. I'm going to tell you this real quick. I'm going to give you a secret. LinkedIn will tell you everything you need to know, right? Don't get on a call with somebody and say, hi, hey, how was your career journey? Can you tell me more about your career journey? LinkedIn will do all that work for you, right? So go to LinkedIn, right? And you can see people's paths. Some people's paths are different than others. Jess Gray works for the Detroit Lions, doing an incredible job there in Detroit. Jess started off as a basketball team manager, right? She'll tell you that. Then she did compliance. Then she did that, right? Everybody's career is different. Alexander Martin was doing student affairs at the University of Miami, then came to athletics, did student affairs, and then got hired, or student athlete development, then got hired by the Miami Dolphins. Everybody's path is linear. My story, I was a high school coach teaching world geography and coaching offense in Texas, right? And I got hired to get in a role, and it happened, right? So everybody's path is different. It's always important to know the career paths of others so that you can see that you're on the right path, all right? The big thing I tell people, as long as you're building relationships, providing value, you should be good. All right. And the last one is question. I always tell people, if you want to start in player development, you want to work in player development, you need to ask yourself, what's the impact you can make right now? What's the impact I can make in my community, at the local school, at my job? If you're facing athletes, maybe you work in compliance, maybe you work in equipment, maybe you work in sports med, maybe you work in academics. What's the impact you can have right now? What is that driving value that you can communicate to someone if you're in an interview, right? Start creating that impact now. I understand networking on LinkedIn. I'm not mad. I love LinkedIn, so y'all know I'm not mad about that. I understand all that stuff, but start creating impact where you are. What program can you do, right? Maybe you don't have athletes. Maybe you're at a local boys and girls club. Maybe you're at the Y. Maybe you work with a freshman, or you work in trio or something on a campus university. What's that impact that you can have? So think about that and the impact you can have there. So if you want to start in player development, that's a great place to start right there. Now, if you want to know my 5 detailed steps of getting into player development, you need to watch this video right here. And if you haven't already, get your copy of the Player Development Guide. It details what player development is, the Beyond the Field program I use at the University of Houston, University of Kansas, and Baylor University, and the secret sauce to impact you can have in player development. As I always say, go out and create generational impact. Don't wait today. Create that impact today, especially if you want to get into player development. I'll see y'all.